We have a major shift happening in the stars at the beginning of 2025 that's going to heavily influence what kind of goals each zodiac sign is going to be capable of achieving. So in this video, I want to break down what kind of goals each zodiac sign should set for 2025 based off of this transit. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabelle and today we are talking about 2025 New Year's resolutions for each zodiac sign. So feel free to hop down to the timestamps down below to just jump to your zodiac sign and what kind of goals you should set. But there's a reason behind what I say each zodiac sign will be capable of in 2025. And that is because we have a major transit or major shift happening in the stars. The North Node is entering Pisces and the South Node is entering Virgo. And in my personal interpretation of astrology, this is the most important transit to note for the year because the North Node is our highest path to growth. In our natal chart, our North Node is what our highest path to growth is in this lifetime. But in current transit, it's basically represents what our next step is. What our next step is to achieve our natal North Node. And so with the North Node entering Pisces, each zodiac sign is going to be facing certain challenges and can experience certain kinds of growth that are going to come with more ease. And so if we are setting goals that are out of alignment with this North Node, it's going to cause more friction in our lives, more abrasion, and more challenges. So I want to cover what exactly this means as a general concept to have the North Node entering Pisces, South Node in Virgo briefly, and then how this applies to each zodiac sign based off of the house it's going to be happening in for you. And if you want to learn more about how this is going to be affecting you based off of your unique birth chart, book a reading down below where we can dive deep into the predictions of 2025 and what's going to be affecting you in 2025 based off your chart. So really quick, what does it mean to have the North Node entering Pisces and South Node entering Virgo? I'm going to make this very, very brief because I already filmed a video talking about what it means to have the North Node entering Pisces, South Node, and Virgo in my Astrology 2025 predictions. Check out that video if you want to learn more. With the North Node entering North Node entering Pisces, South Node entering Virgo at the beginning of January or mid-January of 2025, we can expect that our collective growth is towards becoming more compassionate and unconditionally loving, letting go of perfectionism, healing wounds around perfectionism, healing our inner critic, focusing more on inner work and spirituality and less on material health habits, material service, and being selfless. Granted, both these signs are about being selfless, but Pisces learns that the best way to give to other people is to be a positive vibration for them rather than giving a practical service. So this is really connecting with our spirituality in the end and going deeper into ourselves and becoming more unconditionally loving, learning more compassion, learning more empathy. But where in our life we are learning this energy is going to be dependent on your zodiac sign. And so taking this into account, based off of your unique zodiac sign will tell you where you can experience the most growth in 2025. And also, if you just lean into this North Node, you can experience rapid manifestation in other areas of your life. Because basically, in the end, the universe, the cosmos, God, creator, whatever you want to call it, wants us to grow towards our North Node. It expands our capacity. It makes us more whole. We become more well-rounded as spiritual human beings. And so when we step into our growth, we are rewarded, because we become more unconditionally loving, especially in this case of the North Node being in Pisces. So now that you have that general overview, without further ado, let's talk about what it means to have the North Node in Pisces for each zodiac sign. And once again, check out the timestamps below to find your unique zodiac sign. I highly recommend that you just look at your sun sign and then maybe your rising sign for this, because even if you just do the sun sign work, it's going to be what's most impactful, what's most vital for you, what affects your core being the most, and what's going to affect you in the long run. If you are an Aries sun, your growth in 2025 is towards developing your spirituality and stepping into your unconscious mind and moving away from health habits and routines, or specifically healing your health habits and routines. Because with the South Node being in Virgo in your 6th house, you could be doing a lot of healing work around your health and your selfless service and how this tampers with your health. Overall, you're moving more towards going deeper into your unconscious mind, and you maybe need to spend more time in solitude. So my number one idea for goal setting for Aries in 2025 is to spend time in solitude and meditate more, because you need to go deeper into your unconscious and recognize your deeper wounds. If you are a Taurus sun, the North Node is entering your 11th house of community and big aspirations. And the South Node will therefore be in Virgo in your 5th house. So you are moving away from doing things practically in your creativity and with your romance, and more towards being more spiritual, unconditionally loving in your community. And so with that in mind, I would say Taurus, your number one goal that you should probably be setting for 2025, based off of the North Node being in Pisces in your 11th house, is to practice unconditional love in your community. Do community work, be in your community, develop a spiritual community. You might want to consider attending a yoga retreat where you are going to be surrounded by other people pursuing unconditional love, or meditation retreat. Doing things that are spiritual in a community is going to be huge for you for developing your skill set this year and expanding your capacity. And you may, unfortunately, because that may be moving away, or healing your inner critic in your creative expression. But overall, moving towards community and big aspirations rather than simple life enjoyment. Gemini suns, the Pisces North Node is in your 10th house, and so you are moving towards your career in 2025, specifically becoming more unconditionally loving in your career. This is a time for you to develop your compassion in your love in your career, and you can be recognized for your empathy. And because of this, you may be healing and moving away from your family life during this time, in the sense that you are healing wounds related to your critic and your perfectionist in your family life, to make more space for your career and for more recognition. So my number one goal idea for Gemini in 2025 is to set goals for your career and how you can show up more with more empathy in your career. Cancer suns, the North Node will be in Pisces in your 9th house of purpose and religion. And so for this year, I highly recommend that you focus on developing your religious beliefs or ideologies if you're not a religious person, recognizing and defining what you value to step into more unconditional love. Because of this, you may be doing healing around perfectionism, your inner critic, and selflessness in your network. And so my number one goal recommendation for you in 2025 is to develop your spiritual practice, your spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs, whether that be going to church more often, learning more about religions, learning more about philosophy, or even just traveling, because traveling will deepen your spiritual beliefs. Leo suns, in 2025, the Pisces North Node asks you to cultivate more unconditional love in your intimate relationships and more empathy in your intimate relationships. You're really moving towards relationships in this year. If you're already in a relationship, you're going to be deepening your relationship. If you're not in a relationship, you could be meeting someone or cultivating just more vulnerability in your relationships with friends, family, sharing your vulnerability. And you also, with this, are healing your beliefs and wounds around your self-worth and self-value and your inner critic and how that judges that. So my number one goal recommendation for Leos in 2025 is to set intentions and goals around cultivating depth in relationships. Make time for your partner, make time to cultivate depth with others, practice vulnerability with others. Virgo suns, you are in the spotlight in 2025 because the South Node is in your 1st house, which means you're doing a lot of healing with your sense of self this year. And also the universe is asking you to step into more unconditional love and compassion in your one-on-one relationships and marriages and friendships. So any one-on-one relationship that you have. So my number one goal recommendation for you is to make time for relationships, cultivate connection in your relationships, and practice healing your sense of self. Practice healing in the sense that give yourself compassion and allow yourself to shift. What are ways that you can practice letting go of your sense of self-identity, so to say, and changing your sense of self-identity? And how can you find a sense of self through focusing on other people? Libra suns, the Pisces North Node is in your 6th house, and so you're growing towards healthy habits this year. Practicing more unconditional love, maybe meditating, being more spiritual, focusing on your inner self, doing things that are more gentle to yourself in routine ways, and moving away from your unconscious mind, in the sense that you are healing your deep programmed perfectionist beliefs and moving towards doing things in your practical day-to-day reality. And so for that reason, I would say my number one goal recommendation in 2025 for Libras is to cultivate habits, whether that be meditating, journaling, doing inner work, any sort of spiritual or self-growth work on a day-to-day basis. Make those habits. Scorpio suns, the Pisces North Node is in your 5th house of romance and play and creativity. And so this year, I would simply straight out the gate say that your goals for 2025 should be all revolving around your dating life and or your creative pursuits. Now's the time for you to find more unconditional love through your dating life and through your creative expression. And with that in mind, you are healing wounds around how perfect or selfless you need to be in your impact on humanity. You're moving away from changing the world and more towards just enjoying life. So my number one goal recommendation for Scorpios is to make time for creativity, pursue your passions, and get out there and maybe go on a few dates. And of course, to specifically do these from a place of unconditional love and self-reflection and self-awareness. Sagittarius suns, the Pisces North Node is going to be in your 4th house of home. And so you're moving towards cultivating unconditional love and spirituality and self-awareness in your home and family life. This also means that you're doing deep inner healing with your career and specifically what your beliefs are around maybe being perfect or your inner critic or being selfless in your career. You're moving towards more comfort at home. And so my number one goal recommendation for Sagittarius suns with the North Node being in Pisces in 2025 is to spend time at home. Nurture your home life, whether that be your own kids and your spouse, or if this is your siblings and your parents. Capricorn suns, the Pisces North Node is in your 3rd house of network and communication. And so you're growing towards learning to speak with unconditional love and surround yourself with people who are also maybe spiritual or self-aware at the very least, who feel like unconditional love. With that in mind, you are also healing any too rigid beliefs you may have around your beliefs or ideologies or whatever religion you may structure yourself with. And so you may find that you are finding more sense of fulfillment and growth the more you focus on just trying to be loving and empathetic or empathic towards your daily network and in the way you speak. And so for that reason, I would say my number one goal for Capricorns that I would recommend for 2025 is to speak with kindness, to pay attention to your words, to pay attention to who you surround yourself with and how they make you feel and how you make your daily network feel. Aquarius, the North Node is in Pisces in your 2nd house in 2025. And so you're growing towards more unconditional love towards yourself for the sake of self-worth and also learning to, so to say, manifest more money. Take a non-linear approach to your wealth, to your security, and maybe deciding that what really gives you a sense of security is to be unconditionally loving, which can be a huge lesson for such a logical, intellectual Aquarius. But you're also healing during this time. You're specifically healing your critic in your intimate relationships. So if you're the critical one, you could be healing things. If someone is very critical to you in your intimate relationships, you could be doing healing here. But overall, you're moving towards more self-sufficiency, and you're moving towards self-sufficiency by learning compassion for others and yourself. And so for that reason, I would say my number one goal recommendation for Aquarius is to spend time focusing on cultivating your self-worth through a spiritual practice and to practice unconditional love towards other people. What would a loving version of you do as far as your spending? Would you leave a heavier tip? Would you buy other people more gifts? Would you spend more on yourself? Really focus on how you're spending your money this year and how it serves your sense of love for life and how loving you can be towards other people. And finally, if you are a Pisces sun, you're in the spotlight for this year. You are in the emphasis of growth. And let me tell you, I'm relieved because it has been quite the year with the North Node in Aries. But this is something for you to look forward to, not dread. So with the North Node being in your sign, you are cultivating and growing your sense of self-identity and moving away from or healing your one-on-one relationships, how critical others or you may be in your one-on-one relationships. And so I'd say my number one goal for Pisces, my recommendation would be not only patience, because you're going to need it this year with yourself. Things can tend to feel like they're moving slow or repeating itself when the North Node is in your sign, but also to grow your sense of self, to become more comfortable with being alone, to spend time alone, to prioritize yourself and spend time alone. No matter your zodiac sign, the North Node in Pisces asks us all to focus more on compassion for ourselves. And so setting goals that allow us to be a bit more compassionate to ourselves and a little less rigid is going to be very valuable. So if you want to learn more on how exactly 2025 is going to play out for you based off of your unique birth chart, book a reading down below, and be sure to check out my other links for my astrology course and my astrology workbooks if you want to learn astrology on your own and just get some more self-development tools under your belt as we enter 2025. After all, I would say that the North Node being in Pisces is in the end all about our spiritual growth. So the more we all focus on spiritual growth, the better, rather than practical health habits and all of that. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Did this resonate for you? What goals are you setting for 2025? What is your word for the year? We would all love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What is your zodiac sign? What goals are you setting? What are you looking forward to in 2025? How did this current transit of North Node in Aries play out for you? What do you think is your next natural step with the North Node entering Pisces? Let's hear your thoughts down in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. Let me know what you guys want to hear about next in the comments below. Are you looking for more videos on natal chart placements, on transits, on Enneagram, on manifestation? I would love to hear what you guys want to hear next on the channel, and I'll be sure to film about it. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name's Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.